everyone. Welcome to the second session in the Back to Basics series on digital marketing. This second session is all about search, but before we dive into it, I'm just going to start with some introductions. First of all, my name is Liana Godfrey. I am the head of training in Cape Town. I was born in the Netherlands, but I've been living in South Africa for the last 13 years. I'm married and I have two children, Aiden, who's 3.5, and Olivia, who's almost 1.5. And here you see them pictured with our French bulldog, who's named Oscar. So I've been working at Incubeta for close to 6 years now, and I started in the role of campaign manager. Currently, I manage a team of 7 tech and services team members, in addition to running various training events. Then our trainer for today is Rudy Brooks. Rudy joined Incubeta in February 2015 in the role of regional lead for the APAC region, focusing on search. He also sported the job title operational country head, again for the APAC region, before starting as platform and media consultant in the Australia team for just over 2 years ago. Rudy is married to Tamara, and they have 3 children, Reese, Rain, and Rose, as well as Marcy, Finn, and Maximus Leonidas, who are 3 dogs. Fun fact, Maximus Leonidas would have been the name of their 3rd child if they had a boy, but they found out they would have a girl, and therefore they bought a pug and gave him the name. So it's a win-win for Rudy and his family. Then before we start with the session, let me just ask you to please put your camera on and keep it on for the duration of the session. It really helps us to know who we're talking to and to engage with you. Please be present as well. You can ask questions by posting in the chat, or just unmuting and asking your questions, and we'll have some Q&A at the end as well. It helps to just switch off all notifications so that you can fully focus on the presentation that Rudy has prepared for you. And then just sit back, relax, listen to everything that Rudy has to share with you, and make sure that you can see his video as well as the slide deck that he's sharing at this moment. And like I mentioned, you can ask questions at any point during the training session. Then learning outcomes, we have quite a few for today. By the end of this session, you will know why so many businesses use Google Ads. You will know about the mechanics behind the system. You'll be familiar with the different search ads formats, and you'll know how to optimize for improved performance. And as a bonus, you will have learned some advanced techniques. So the table of contents, to be able to answer all of those learning outcomes, really will start explaining why you should use Google Ads. You will then dive into the mechanics behind the system, go into some of the search ads formats that are available, touch on optimization, and then the final bonus, the advanced techniques. So Rudy, over to you.
Thank you very much for the intro, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible. So if we do have any questions, or you do not understand anything that I'm saying, please just let me know. Just put up your hand on the call, and we can answer any questions. We would like to make this as informative as possible, and try and answer as many questions as we can. So let's dive into Google Ads. I think a good question to start with is, why should businesses use Google Ads? But a lot of businesses don't know what Google Ads is. So let's start with, what is Google Ads? So Google Ads allows you to grow your business by getting it in front of customers when they are searching for your products or services on Google Search and Google Maps. So let's take an example. You are a business, you have a website, you're offering either products or services, and you want to try and get your business to be found by users who are potentially looking for your products and services. A good way to do this is through Google Ads. And why Google Ads is so beneficial for a lot of these businesses is that so many people, first of all, use Google. They make searches on Chrome, and the amount of people that can be reached is ridiculous. So it's really great to be able to build your brand awareness through Google Ads. A big benefit of using Google Ads is that you only pay for results. So if someone clicks on your ads or makes a phone call to your business, you will only be charged for that click or for that phone call. So if your ad is showing on Google and no one clicks on it, you will not pay for that search. So typical example of how a Google Ads looks like. So for example, someone searches for learn Google Ads. That ad that you see there at the top that's highlighted in green, that is what a Google Ads looks like. So let's dive into what are some of the benefits of using Google Ads. It generally works faster than SEO. So your organic listings, if your website is optimized, it will generally show right at the top when someone makes a search. But Google Ads just gives it a bit more presence. If competitors are potentially bidding on your brand terms, if you are running ads through Google Ads, this will allow you to be ranked above those competitors. So if you want faster results, Google Ads does trump SEO. Increased brand awareness. As I mentioned before, the amount of people who are using Google on a daily basis everyone uses it. So if you are a new business, you have that opportunity to reach more people and increase your brand awareness. And this can be done through search or through display on Google Ads. Reach more customers through their Gmail inbox. A lot of users do have Gmail accounts, and Google. If you run activity through Google Ads, you will be able to reach those users, whereas any other platform will not be able to do that. Reconnect with past visitors of your website. So through remarketing, we are able to build customized ads to users who have been to your website before. This cannot be done any other way, but through Google Ads, we are able to tap into those users who are further down their purchasing funnel and try to get them back to the site if they have not either bought a product or looked at a service on your website. Measure your performance consistently. Google Ads within the platform, the data that pulls through, I think there's about a 2 or 3 hour delay. But having that ability to see how well your ads are performing at a very consistent basis, I think is really it's really great. You are able to make any improvements on the spot and make any changes on the fly. Track store visits, something that this has been a new feature within Google Ads for the past 3 years, and it has really helped a lot of retail clients because through Google Ads was predominantly focused on getting as many online conversions as possible. Now, with the ability to track store visits, we can now see how our online efforts are affecting offline efforts as well. So someone makes a search online but does not convert on your website. Google Ads is able to track whether or not that person has actually gone into your store to make a purchase and then records that information within Google Ads. So we're able to then report back to clients and to say, you know what, we are doing this online, but we are able to capture so many more users offline as well. You can also customize your ads based on your user's preference. So if you know that there are certain people within certain demographics in terms of their location, their age, what are their preferences, you are able to build custom ads based on those users. And obviously, with us making a lot of searches online, if we see something that really resonates with us personally, the chances of us clicking on that ad or that link and actually making a purchase or completing any action on the website is that much higher. And we can target competitors. So if you as a client, if you know who your competitors are, you are able to target them directly in terms of bidding on their brands. And again, this helps with you building some brand awareness and try and capture those users who are a bit more brand conscious and likely to potentially buy the products from your particular brand. Cool. So now that we have a good understanding of what is Google Ads and why should we use Google Ads, I think it's important to understand how Google Ads works. And by understanding how it works, it enables us to make better decisions as to that would lead to our success. So Google Ads uses an auction-based system. And I'm sure a lot of you know how an auction works. There's a product that is for sale, and the person who bids the highest gets the product. So if Google used this particular system, it would not be fair to the smaller clients, because not a lot of clients or businesses have big budgets. And not a lot of people can spend $50,000 a month. There are some businesses who only have $5,000 that they can use per month. And Google wants to ensure that these businesses also have the opportunity to try and build their brands and to get as many conversions and to meet as many goals as possible. So using the auction-based system, there are 6 metrics that gets looked at to determine where your ad is ranked. So obviously the first one is your bid. And this isn't looked in isolation. This is looked at with other metrics as well. So how competitive is the auction? If there are a lot of people bidding on the same keywords, the prices per ad is a bit higher. If there aren't many competitors bidding on certain terms, and it's only you bidding on certain keywords, then the chances of you winning that auction and being ranked number 1 every single time is a lot higher. So it's always important understanding how competitive certain terms are, how competitive they will be. Quality of your ad and your landing page, very important as well. Google wants people to show ads that are relevant to the user, as well as the landing page. If you make a search for anything online, and the ad doesn't really speak to what you are searching for, the chances of you clicking on it is highly unlikely. So it's important that the quality of your ad and how if it resonates with the user, you need to make sure that you're ticking off those boxes. Ad rank threshold. So Google has minimum requirements that needs to be met when you are running ads through Google Ads. For example, ensuring that you have 1 responsive search ad and 3 expanded text ads is something that you need to know to ensure that your ad is going to rank higher. Obviously, these are things that we get to learn through time and understanding how Google Ads works. Once you've got a good understanding of how it works, you are then able to understand what all these minimum thresholds are for you to enable you to reach your success. Expected income impact from your extensions and ad format. So there are certain extensions that can be added to your ads just to make them stand out and to take up as much retail space on the search engine results page. So by adding more of these, you are kind of putting that ad into a more favorable position to be ranked number 1. So the more detail you add to the ad, the more chances of it being ranked high. And then context of the user search. Obviously, the user's past search history, where the user stays, what device the user is using. Is the user making a search on their mobile device or on the desktop. All of this plays a role into whether or not Google, whether or not the auction system will decide if your ad should be ranked number one. So you'll notice of those 6 different metrics, the quality of your ad, there's 3 metrics that really stands out and really speaks to how important it is to have a really good ad. So in the next slide, I'm going to take you through why it's so important to have a good ad. So just a typical example of how ad rank and quality score works. So here we have 4 different advertisers: Bob, Jane, Sue, and Tom. As you can see, Bob clearly has a lot of money. So he bids $4 for a certain keyword. Okay, so he's paying a lot more than what his competitors, Jane, Sue, and Tom is. But Bob didn't spend much time on his ad. He didn't make his ad resonate with the users. The landing page of the ad doesn't meet the expectations of what the user is searching for. And because of that, his quality score and his format impact are both low. Okay. We look at Sue. Sue is only bidding $2. So she's bidding less than what Bob is bidding, but she gets the basics right. She ensures that her ad is relevant to what the user is searching for. She has all the different ad extensions on her ad, and when a user makes a search, they know exactly what they are going to find. So based on that, Sue has a higher quality score, and even though she's bidding less, her ad will rank higher than Bob. Even Jane and Tom, who are bidding less than what Bob is, because they have a much higher quality score, they will be ranked higher than him. So again, the importance of having the correct ad is just, I can't stress how important that is. And that's once you're able to get that right, it's the chances of success through Google Ads is a lot higher. I think a lot of people think that you need to be spending a lot of money to reach a lot of people, but that's not the case. Being able to write good ad copy and understanding exactly who your users are and what your goals are, what KPIs you want to achieve. Once you have a good understanding of that, you're on your way to doing well. Okay, so as I mentioned, ads very important. So let's take a deeper dive into what the different search ads formats are, and what type of what are the success metrics for those search ad formats. So basic example, we have 2 plates of food there. Both plates have the exact same ingredients on them. Both plates have the same goal that they want to achieve. If you see food, you got to eat it so that you're not hungry, right? But both are displayed in very different ways. As you can see, with the food on the right, it looks more appetizing. Same ingredients, but it looks more appetizing. So for the user who is a bit more food conscious and wants to eat good food, the chances are a lot higher for people to buy plate B than plate A, purely because of how it is displayed. So, and this talks a lot to how we need to consider ads and how we need to consider presenting our ads to our users. So let's take an example. Someone searches for max tracks, recovery track. So this is, let's say you need to go camping and in the mountain, and you are searching for a recovery track. So a recovery track you add to your car so that you can drive up the mountain, and you're going this weekend. So you search for that. The first ad that pops up is from www.buystuff.com. And in the headline, they have, "We got cool stuff. People like us, just buy from us." Not really speaking to what I want to buy. Yes, they mention that you can buy stuff, which is great, but they're not really giving me much information about what I want to buy. And in the description, they have buy now and receive it sometime this year. Not compelling. I don't think I want to click on this ad if I was making that search. Okay, and then we look at ad number B, shop matrix recovery tracks. The actual product that I want to buy is in the headline. In the description, it says get high quality recovery gear from Matrix and more top brands. Shop now from $299. It's got a price point as well. So if I am price conscious, I will have a look at that. Find a better price on an identical product from any US retailer and we'll match it. So the actual product is in the ad. There's a price. There are unique selling points. There's a call to action. There's extensions to the ad. So the chances of me clicking on this ad is 100%. There's no chance I'm gonna click on ad A. Okay, but that's only the first step. The first step is trying to entice people to click on your ad. So by building out that really good ad, you are one step closer to getting that user to actually make a search to make a purchase on your website. So let's take the same example. Okay, I make a search for Matrix recovery tracks. I see this ad pop up and I think, great, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I click on the ad and I land on snorkeling gear. The chances of me browsing on that website to find what I'm looking for is highly unlikely. I'm probably going to bounce off this website, make another search, and try and find my product again. So the importance of making sure that your ad and your landing page matches out, it's really important to ensure that the user actually does complete the action that you want them to complete. So from the ad to the landing page, and obviously the buying process all plays a role in determining the user's experience. And it needs to be as easy as possible. Okay, so now we have a good understanding of why it's so important to have good ads. I'll just take you through the different types of ad formats that we currently have in Google Ads. There are currently two ad formats, expanded text ads and responsive text ads. So expanded text ads, you can have your final URL, you can have 3 headlines. So your headlines are used to describe your product or service. We always try and add the actual product that the person is searching for within the headline. We try and add unique selling proposals in there as well. If you have any prices you want to add, or there's anything that you feel that stands out from what your competitors are doing, it's important to add it to your headline. The headline can only have 30 characters each, so you need to limit what you want to display to only 30 characters. But the expanded text ad also has 2 descriptions, so which can consist of 90 characters each. So in the descriptions, you try and give more information about what the user is searching for. Usually within the headlines, you can't add as much information, but in the descriptions, you can add more. For example, if you have free delivery or you have a sale on certain products, you can then add those details into the descriptions. Okay, then we have responsive search ads. So responsive search ads works a little bit different to the expanded search ads. in the sense that it gives users more options. So you'll notice that with responsive search ads, instead of only 3 headlines, you can have up to 15 different headlines. Also all 30 characters, and you can have up to 10 different descriptions, also all 90 characters. And what this allows us to do as advertisers is that we can show different options to different users. So by having 15 different headlines, if someone makes a search, Google will determine, based on that person's search history, based on that person's location, based on whether or not they have been someone who have been to your site before, it will determine which headlines are best to get the user to convert on your website. So by giving so many different headlines and so many different descriptions, Google will tailor make the ad to that user. And again, if ads are tailor made to you as a user, once you've made a search, the likelihood of you clicking on the ad is just so much higher. So responsive search ads, I think it's been around for about 2 years. This format has now become the default format within Google Ads. So Google is trying to push more and more users to use this, so that when people are making searches, they're having a better experience in terms of what they are looking for. Okay, so let's have a look at exactly what makes a good ad. Most of these I have spoken to, but just to give a bit more information on what they are. So highlight what makes you unique. Do you have free shipping? Are there certain services that you offer that you know that your products do not offer? Highlight that in your ad, because the chances of the person clicking on your ad over your competitor is just that much higher. Include prices, promotions, and exclusives. If people are shopping, they would like to see prices. Having the prices in the ad just takes away the need to go look at prices on the website. So if you add a price to the ad, and that price is within what the user is searching for, they're either going to click on it and make a purchase, or they're not going to click on it because either the price is too high for them, which is okay, because then you know you're not going to pay for that person's click because they are not likely to buy on your website. So if you can include the prices or any promotions, it's always good to add that to your ad as well. Empower customers to take action. Users, when someone makes a search, we need to tell them what they need to do on the website. For example, buy now, or sign up if you are trying to get users to sign up for a certain service, or if you want users to call your call center, mention that in the ad, just so that the user is kind of, you directing them in your metric of success. Cool. Include at least one of your keywords. So a keyword is, when we build our keywords, we are trying to determine what the users are going to search. So for example, if I'm selling digital cameras, I will have keyword buy digital cameras, because if someone searches for buy digital cameras, that's exactly what I'm trying to sell. User makes that search, I will then show an ad for digital cameras. And by adding that keyword into my ad, this helps with quality score. If a user searches for buy digital cameras and they see that exact keyword within your ad, the chance of them clicking is a lot higher, because it's exactly what they are looking for. So it's always important to understand what your keywords are, what are users going to search, and then trying to incorporate that into your ads. And then last but not least, make sure that your ad matches your landing page. The last thing you want to do is have an ad for digital cameras they click on it and it's selling this. Yeah, if I made that search, I'm definitely going to bounce off of that and try and find a competitor who is actually selling digital cameras. So that's very important. Okay, cool. So now that we have a good understanding of the ads, it's important to understand how do we optimize. Because it's one thing to actually write ads and get a good quality score, but what then? We can't just create the ads and just leave it and let it be. It's important to optimize to ensure that you are keeping up to what your success metrics are, and always trying to improve on them. So the challenge that we usually sit with is, I like to call this the two target dilemma. Because most accounts have two objectives. So you as a business, you have a specific budget that you need to spend. Usually clients will have marketing budgets that they need to spend, but they also have certain KPIs that they need to meet. So the two objectives that we usually have is we need to hit KPIs, so the key performance indicators, and we need to spend the full budget. Most of the time, it's difficult to try and balance both of these out. Sometimes you can only hit KPIs. Sometimes you can only spend the full budget. But through proper optimization and understanding how the platform works and understanding how the auction works, it is possible to hit both of these targets. It's also very important to understand exactly what these KPIs are. So I'm just going to go through a few of the KPIs that are generally used through Google Ads. A lot of the clients that we do have tend to either go for one of these KPIs when they are starting their Google Ads campaigns. And as businesses, it's important for you to understand what you want to achieve when you are running any online advertising. So the first KPI that clients usually try to hit is a CPA or a CPL KPI, which is cost per acquisition or cost per lead. So, for example, if you are trying to get signups, let's say you are you want people to sign up to your emails. There are certain amount of signups that you require every month to be profitable. So by understanding how many you need per month, you can create a cost per lead to determine whether or not your Google Ads efforts are being profitable. The lower the CPA, the better. So, for example, if you say that it will cost me $100 for every sign up to be profitable, and through Google Ads you are able to get every sign up for only $20, then that means you are profitable. That then allows you to be able to spend more to try and get more signups for your business. Sometimes people just want clicks to their website. Usually these would be people or businesses who are not too concerned about the quality of the clicks. They just want to get as much traffic as possible at the lowest cost, to try and just build that brand awareness. A lot of clients generally go for this approach when they are fairly new, when the brand is fairly new. It's important to try and build that brand awareness. So try and get as many people to see your ad is very important, because the more people see your ad, they start building some brand recognition. And once the brand is within their mind, if they make another search and see your brand pop up within the search engine results page, the chance of them clicking on it is a lot higher than what it used to be, purely because they now know who you are. So impression share. This is something usually clients go for when they want to be ranked high on the search engine results page. These are businesses who are trying to be more competitive. So they know that their competitors are running Google ads, and they want to ensure that they are one step ahead of them. And by doing this, you can target an impression share. And what this means is for every 1,000 impressions um, that are available for certain keywords, you want to make sure that for 900 of that 1,000, your ad is being seen number one. So again, if clients are looking at building brand awareness, this is also a good way to go about it. And then lastly, any retail clients, they want to make money. And remember, you are spending money when you are running Google ads. So it's important to ensure that if you are running Google ads, that you are actually making money from it. So clients tend to have a ROAS target, or a return on advertising spend, which basically looks at, for every dollar I spend, I want to make $5. So which means that you are trying to achieve a ROAS of 5 to 1. Again, it's best to understand exactly what the KPIs are, and understanding exactly how profitable you need to be to make money. Okay, so there are certain optimization methods that we can use. The two main ones is the manual approach and automation. So manual approach is you going into the account, you are changing your bids, you are changing your budgets, you are adding negative keywords by yourself. This approach has pros and cons, which I'll dive into soon, but it takes a lot of time. If you are a small business and you don't, the chances of you having to go to automation is unlikely, because your account will not be that big. So the manual approach can work. But if you're a big business with a lot of different products that you're selling, or a lot of different services that you're providing, your Google Ads account is going to reflect that. So this is where automation comes into play. And automation does make things a lot easier. But again, there are some cons to this as well. So the types of changes that generally gets made either through a manual approach or through an automated approach are the following, but not limited to. So a big one is budget changes. Do you want to increase or decrease budgets based on daily, monthly, or weekly budgets? You are able, because the reporting is so consistent, you are able to see how well certain keywords are performing, and you're able to make budget changes on the fly based on results for that particular day. So the manual approach, you'll be able to do the budget changes yourself, whereas we go the automated approach, the machine will understand what your KPIs are and make changes based on that. And then bid changes, how aggressive do you want to be with your bids, and also understanding, if I am more aggressive, will this lead to more conversions? Obviously, the bid changes depends on quite a few factors. For example, how big is your budget? How competitive do you want to be against your closest competitors? Usually, smaller businesses who don't have that much budget cannot be as competitive in terms of bidding a lot higher. But again, having a good ad, making sure that your quality score is good, also plays a massive role to ensure that you don't need to bid as high as your competitors. Then negative keywords. You don't want to be, your ad does not want to be seen when someone makes a search that is not relevant to either your product or your service. So if you are selling digital cameras, and someone makes a search for sandals, you don't want your ad to be seen, because the chances of that user actually making a purchase is highly unlikely. So it's important that through your optimizations, you are making as many changes as possible to ensure that the correct user sees your ads. And then demographic changes. Which demographics are most likely to convert? And this can be based on the users' ages, their locations, male or female. You can pinpoint all these demographics, and you can make changes to them based on how well you think they are going to perform. And as I mentioned earlier, all of those changes can be done either through a manual approach, you do it yourself, or through automation, where you let Google take over, and through machine learning, Google can make the changes for you. So a big pro on the manual approach is obviously you have more control. You are able to determine exactly how much you want to spend. You are able to make changes based on for example, if you know you're not going to have enough budget for the month, you can pull back your daily budgets. Or if certain keywords, certain keywords are not going to be performing all that well, you can pause them, or you can decrease the bids on those keywords. So you have more control to make changes. Whereas on the automation side, this is a con, because you have less control. You're letting the machine make the changes for you. A con on the manual side of things is that it's time consuming. If you have 10,000 keywords that you want your ad to be seen for, the chances of you being able to go through each and every keyword and determine what is the correct bid for them is not that high that you're going to get through all of them in a month. So this is where the manual, the automated approach becomes a pro, because it is able to look at so many different metrics to determine what changes needs to be made. A lot of us have a lot on our plate throughout the day. We can't be looking at our Google Ads account all the time. So making changes on a daily basis is highly unlikely. So this is where the automation really does help. Another pro of the manual approach, better understanding of your account changes. So you get a better understanding of exactly what is happening in your account. A con is that you have limited decisions based on what you see in the account. We don't know exactly what's happening out there in terms of all the different trends. Whereas if you go the automation process, there are more signals that it can use to make certain decisions for you, which is really helpful. And then another con on the manual side is that it can be reactive, whereas on the automation side, it is proactive. It makes changes a lot quicker than what we can do through manual. Cool. So those are some optimization techniques in terms of how do we optimize, what can you optimize towards. And now I'm sort of diving into just a few advanced techniques, certain things that a lot of other platforms cannot do, which we have been doing for some of our clients. And these are generally things that have really stood out in terms of the offerings that we can give. So any retail clients knows that you're trying to get as much traffic into your stores as possible. And as I mentioned before, through Google Ads, we are able to do that. We are able to try and drive people into store, and we're able to track how many people actually went into the store and how much they bought in store. So how this works is user makes a search um, on Google search, but they need to be signed into their Google account, and they need to opt into their location history. So Google makes a search. I mean, someone makes a search. Um, they click on your website, but they don't buy anything. They then later they're out shopping, and they come across your store. They Because they've seen your ad before, and they've been on the website, they understand who you are and what you are trying to sell. They then decide, cool, I'm now going to go into the shop. So the user then physically visits the store. Once they are in the store, they having a look at all your products, and they decide, cool, this is what I saw online. Maybe I'll just buy it now that I'm in the store. Once the user then makes that purchase, that data is then sent into our Google Ads account. Um, we are then able to see what that user searched for. We are able to see how long that user took before they actually made a search, and we can then add that user to a particular audience so that we can retarget them later, because we know that they are more likely to buy in store than what they are to buying online. So it's important to put these different audiences and these different users into certain buckets so that we can determine what type of message we need to be showing to them. Cool. Another really cool technique that we've used is showing ads based on the weather. So a big client that we have sells boating, camping, and fishing equipment. And as you can imagine, if you want to go camp or you want to go fishing, you generally do it when the weather is good. So if the weather is going to be good over the weekend, you would then buy your camping gear throughout the week, or your fishing gear. So client approached us, and client was like, how is there a way for us to be a bit more aggressive with our advertising when we know that the weather is going to be good over the weekend? So working with Google, we were able to create scripts which allowed us to do this. So for example, if the weather is going to be nice over the weekend, for that week, our bids were a lot higher. So, and this was based on certain locations. So if we knew that in Johannesburg, the weather is going to be nice over the weekend, we are going to ensure that the ads in Johannesburg is going to be a bit more aggressive for people who want to go camping over the weekend. And vice versa. If we know that the weather's not going to be great over the weekend, we can then ensure that our bids are not that aggressive. So there might be people searching for products that week, so we don't want to not show our products, but we're not going to be as aggressive as what we would, knowing that the weather is going to be good over the weekend. And that is that.
Thanks so much, Rudy. So there is a feedback survey for this session, which I'll share in the chat shortly. But if there are any questions from any of you, please take a moment to ask these to Rudy while we still have him on the call. Any specific challenges that you may have within your business or anything that wasn't clear from the session?
I just had one question, Rudy.
Sure, go for it.
So when you were talking about the different search ad formats, let's say I am an online retail store, whatever, and I have a range of products, or 20 products. Do I have to set up different ads per product so that when people click on the ad, they actually land on the specific black trousers that whoever is looking for? Or how
Exactly. You want to be as specific as possible. I mean, if you are searching for a red trouser with sparkles on it, I don't know, that's something that you like. But if you're able to search for that and actually see an ad that says that red trousers with sparkles on it, you got to click on it, right?
Right. Okay.
Exactly. So look, if you have 20 products, being able to do something like that within Google Ads is easy. If you have 10,000 products, it becomes a bit more complicated. But there are certain tools that can be used to automate that process of creating those ads per product.
Okay.
In an ideal world, that's the route that you want to go because it's relevant to the user.
Yeah, 100%.
Good
Okay, cool.
question. Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, one last question.
Go for it.
And then say obviously for like most small business, they don't have a lot of budget to bid. Is there like sort of like a baseline where people can like start and then know, okay, if I have 500 rands, then I can actually consider Google Ads as a, I guess a marketing thing.
It's all up to you. It's I've run Google Ads campaigns for small businesses who've only had 500 rand that they can spend per month. But determining what the KPIs are, so exactly what you want to achieve with that 500 rand, is what's important. Like I mentioned before, a lot of people think you need to splurge a lot of money to actually get success within Google Ads, but what is success? Success is different things for different clients. So if you only have 500 rand, no, there's certain things that we can do, obviously certain things that we can't do because of the limited budget. But yeah, it's up to the client in terms of how much they are willing to spend. And then each month it changes. Let's say we start with 500 rand month one, and we see good performance, and client is making more money from it, then let's up that month number two. And that's how the process goes in terms of getting them to spend as much as possible to reach more people and to get more sales.
Cool. Thank you so much. That was a good session.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Rudy. Thanks, Melinda, for your questions as well. If there are any other questions, this will be your time to ask. Otherwise, we will be closing off the session. No other questions?
Cool.
Thanks, Rudy. Thanks so much for your time and
no worries.
Supporting Incubeta with this event. There's a feedback survey again. If you can please just take 5 minutes to fill that out, it will really help us to get your feedback. Thanks very much. Have a great day ahead.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.